caution debris in turn 4.
Both drivers are door to door as they head towards turn 1 and 2. They make contact. Around both of them go.
Incredible race out there tonight, drivers. Thank y'all so much for putting on such a great show for these fans. There was side-by-side action, clean, good, hard racing. Thank y'all so much for what y'all did for these fans. And give them a wave as you come down the front straightaway.
Welcome back to another episode of From the Tower podcast. Tonight's guests are the track owners of SSR Motorsports Park. They have a lot of new information to share with each and every one of y'all, so please pay attention to what they have to say. Please help us welcome Abe Puckett and Andrew Sorensen.
All right, guys, just be warned, there may be a little bit of language in this video, so for all those with sensitive ears, just pay attention and watch out for it. Well, Abe, Andrew, we've had a few successful weeks of racing here at SSR, but I know there's some things you guys want to share, and we're ready to kind of let y'all open the mic and tell the community what's going on.
Man, you just got right at it.
Right at it. I mean, we've got a lot to share. We're excited for the future, so let's go ahead and get it going.
You can go. You can start.
The first thing, this one is something that Andrew and I've been thinking about for the last 4 races. Since the start of the season, yes, there have been some things that have not been consistent. We know that there's issues with the motors. There's issues on and off track. A lot of that stuff is not going to be in this discussion. A lot of this stuff that we're going to discuss, it has to do with track etiquette. The family members to the drivers, the crew members to the drivers. We can handle all the complaints. That's something we're getting used to.
Yeah, I mean, us being officials for the last few years, we've kind of heard it all before, but I'm sure as track owners now, y'all hear a lot more of it than you ever have in the past, even dealing with the racing.
It's nonstop.
Yeah.
It's nonstop. I mean, what was it, race 3? You had to take a break. I mean, it's gotten to that point. This racetrack can be filled with something else if need be. Not that we want that at all.
Yeah, I was going to say we definitely.
No, that is not what we want. But there are other things that can fill this racetrack. The motor issues. We know we got motor issues. We know it's a new season with new parts, new things coming.
We're working on it right now.
Yeah.
We are actively working on it right now. It will be solved. We will fix it. We will get a solution.
Yeah, there's a solution out there. Which one's going to be the best? What's going to be the most optimal way to do this? How can we get those parts to make this? All those things go into play. And I understand people want it fixed right now. It's not something that can be fixed right now because what we just found out with what we tried didn't work.
Yeah,
right.
So
it's a lot of trial and error.
Absolutely.
Basically. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what it's coming down to.
Well, and we can kind of attest. We're out here at least once a week with y'all, and there's constantly some kind of testing going on, some kind of adjustments being made. It's not like y'all are just sitting back and going, "We'll figure that out eventually." Y'all are constantly working on it, and I don't think that that's given enough credit.
We were looking at it Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There were parts going in place on Saturday night before everybody even
right then and there.
Yeah. I mean, even after the race Saturday night, we spent like an hour and a half in the tower talking, discussing things that we could actively make better for a race night.
Yeah, and it's not just Andrew and I. I mean, you guys have now. I mean, Davey, TJ. I mean, everybody that was the main crew was in that upstairs office, and we sat here until 11:30, almost midnight.
Yeah,
going over items that needed to be addressed and so on and so forth. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's very time consuming. I thought this would be a 3-day-a-week thing. I am wrong. It's a 7-day-a-week thing, and there should be more hours in those 7 days.
And I thought putting you in place would alleviate a lot of burden, which it has. Don't get me wrong, it has.
I couldn't imagine it.
But dear God, I would not. I needed to be cloned right now.
Yeah.
Like still.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he does so much of internal computer financial that's, getting all the ads up, getting all the, all that stuff going. I'll work on our general post and this, that, and the other, but then he takes phone calls, you know. I can be,
Messages.
in the messages, I can be on hand at the track since I'm retired, and can be here all the time.
Well,
And
and I will
don't
say,
laugh at me, David.
with the messages and everything, we put a bunch of information out there.
Mhm.
It's pretty easy to find before you shoot a message that the track shouldn't have to answer, because I see a lot of them about what's the schedule. Well, if you go to the Facebook page that you were already on, it's right there.
Yeah,
It's normally pinned to the top.
We have gotten to the point where we just ignore those messages.
Yeah.
If you don't understand how to work that, call somebody else. We do not seriously have. I know it's 5 seconds, it's 10 seconds, but when there's 50 of those a day,
Oh yeah,
you don't have time to do that.
Well, that's just the thing. It's 5 seconds, 10 seconds of effort just to go look at the Facebook post. I
Right.
mean, most people know the Facebook page is there and it's actively changing throughout every day. I mean, y'all are doing so much stuff on social media. It's crazy.
yeah.
No, we're trying. I mean,
Yeah.
that's he brought on board in between the videography, the cameras, the everything else, just to get everything launched, to make this place known.
Mhm.
And I hope by the end of the season that it really gets up there and it gets out there even further, and we're
Mhm.
bringing more people in from the outside.
I mean, it's definitely helping.
I'll agree.
We have people ask us all the time down at Mobile whenever we're working those weekends when we're running over here, and I'm like, we're opposite of Mobile. If Mobile is closed, then we're probably running.
Mhm.
And
Right.
so I saw some of those fans that asked me that the last race at Mobile, they were here in the grandstands before we ever got practice rolling good the other night.
Right.
And that's what needs to be done. I mean, so many people have forgotten about this place since they paved. Once the dirt was gone, a lot of people, I guess the racing wasn't as good, and they walked away, and they've never came back since.
You'd be surprised how many people never knew it was here.
Right. A
Like,
lot of
how
people.
many-
we get that constantly.
How many people, like, there was an event a couple years ago where they let the track be used as parking for an event up here at the community center, and I was in my Sunny South stuff, like walking around, and a guy asked me, he goes, "Where's that track at?" I was like, "Right there,
Yep.
down there in the dark." And so it's crazy, the people that they're 100 foot away and they don't know it's back here.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and if you don't pay attention to it, I mean, we are in a little bowl down here.
Right.
We are working to change that. One thing I'm thinking about doing is putting a post on the Facebook page and putting a link that people can upload content that they wish to share with us so that we can make more content, more track content.
Mhm.
We would love to see in-car footage. If you've got 360 cameras, back camera, whatever footage you want to share with us that you don't mind us using and kind of mixing up and making some possibly cinematic style stuff that we can get out there. Stuff that we could put on YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff to kind of hook people into looking at it
Mhm.
and then getting some exposure for us here at the track.
Yeah, I know the drift edits we've seen have been incredible.
Very.
Not
very.
just the ones done by the track,
Right.
but
We want to carry that over into the oval stuff too. 'Cause we
Right.
don't see
And
enough
that's
of that.
and that's
Right.
where the drift came from. Because it's I mean, that's not our cameras.
Mhm.
That is everybody else sharing that with us and putting it all together.
Mhm.
And that's where you get a lot of that. And it's with the different camera mounts and from different views, there's a lot of good footage out there.
Mhm.
A lot of good footage. But
There was some sent today. Matt Green sent of his
little
mishap.
tump over?
Oh,
Yeah,
did he?
Yeah,
Oh, that'd be a good one to
There you
see.
go.
Yeah, that was our first, not officially a flip, but kind of a rollover.
Rollover.
Well,
of the year, yeah.
but think about it. Look, the way that these vehicles are made. I mean, we talk about it's unsafe. As soon as you cross that gate, you know that you're going to do something dangerous.
Right.
Matt flipped his cart, flipped it back over.
Never went in the pits.
Never went
Right.
in the pits.
Yep.
All the
Took that
tires are
right
good.
back.
The bars had some scratches on
Yeah.
it. And what was
Now,
the finish?
I think he
I think
finished
he finished
second. Third. He
Yeah, I
finished
was going to
third.
say, he finished top three.
Yeah.
I know that. So.
I mean, that just tells you how
And that's
safe a lot of
that's
the
even
equipment that we
after,
run over
because
Yeah,
that
for
was
sure.
we didn't complete a lap, so we had a complete restart. I think he was supposed to restart like fourth. He elected to tag rear because he didn't know how bad his cart was damaged.
Yeah.
Still drove up through the pack and still finished third.
Well,
We were looking at it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were
because
looking at it.
we were as he was going around. I'm like, Andrew, let's really, before this thing takes off. We got out there on a golf cart and just kind of followed him around what he was doing, and couldn't see any wheels that were fly.
Yeah.
Nothing would look like it was out of alignment. It was rolling smooth. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, it was just a momentum tump, and
Yeah.
luckily it wasn't nothing worse than that.
Yeah, the left sides of those carts have got to be pretty heavy, especially with the driver offset and everything, because you
Right.
always see them when they get backwards and then they kind of whip around. If it's toward that left side, it'll just like you said, tump over
Mhm.
and it just kind of sat there.
You see them on 2 all the time, but then they'll
Yeah.
just land back on 4.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So the footage, that'd be great if you all could, reach out, send that in. But I think the major issue on the table is conduct, and the conduct is not really from the drivers as much as it is family members and crews.
Mhm.
That's sad. I'm sorry, but that to our community out there and some of the crew that are in these pits, that's one, it's uncalled for, and two, it's sad.
Mhm.
So this is a part that if you are caught by any of the green shirts out here, you're calling a little girl a bitch that's 5, 4, 6, 7, whatever. I'm telling you right now, you will never come back to this racetrack. And I don't care if you are a racer. I don't care if you're a father. I don't care if you're a grandfather, a mother, an aunt. You will never come back to this racetrack. It's a family-oriented place, and I mean it. I
That's
don't
what
know.
we pride ourselves
That's
on.
that's
Yeah.
it.
Being a family place.
I have put up new signage for this section over here. This is a family section.
The family section
right out
signs.
here. It's
Mhm.
close to the restrooms. It's close to the food. I mean, I made it the most convenient place we could get it.
Right.
For sure.
No smoking, no alcohol, no cussing. I mean, we know that something slips, right? Just behave. And it's not just in the pits; it's in the stands.
Right.
Especially in the stands. That's
It's becoming a problem. So all of you that gather around the flag stand of an evening, some of you are the ones that we're talking about. You have been filmed. Can you prove on that film that's where that voice came from? I can't do it, so I can't call anybody out on this, but I will let you know it will no longer be tolerated. So that goes for spotters. Spotters, we know this has happened, and again, it will not be tolerated. I mean, it's going to come down to the point I will eliminate you from this racetrack. That easy.
Mhm.
I mean, you hate to do that, but it seems like that's the only way it's going to get fixed.
Yeah.
Well, it feels like if you don't, then that toxicity is going to spread.
it'll be a cancer.
That's a problem. It's a huge problem, and it's been going on. And I don't know if this monster existed in the past. Not real sure. I raced my legend, stayed in the back, and really didn't pay attention to a whole lot besides the race and what went on. We come up and watch some races, but I kept myself back.
In a race night, you're generally working on the car. You're
That's
trying
right.
to find
That's
speed.
right.
You're trying to do maintenance, stuff like that.
You're in your pit doing your thing until it's
Yeah,
time to
if
race.
That's
if
right.
you have a few minutes, you'll walk up, watch a race or two, but you're generally in
I'll
your
be
pit.
honest with you. The 2 seasons I was down here, never ate at concessions. Hardly left the trailer when I was there.
Mhm.
I mean,
Well, that's just a crime that you never ate the concessions, because that made me want to come to
I
this
don't-
track full time.
I don't eat
Yeah.
at the race on race days when
That's
I'm racing.
true.
I normally don't eat until the end of the night, and then
Yeah.
when everything's over. And it's always been a thing of mine. I mean, you might have a little nibble in the morning, but other than that, I don't eat the rest of the evening. It was water, Gatorades, whatever, just stay hydrated. So I was never. It's always been out of my wheelhouse. But
Yeah.
but now that I'm able to walk around and see what's going on, that's what caught my attention.
Mhm.
And then, of course, we've had some complaints. And speaking of complaints,
Which complaint?
well, all of them.
You got to be specific. There's so many.
No.
The suggestion box is
Narrow
full.
it down a little bit.
Yeah, the complaints are nonstop. If you're out here making complaints and it doesn't even exist on the track, or it's not an issue, but it's an issue to you, you're more than welcome to bring it to us. But if it becomes an argument, a fight, if you just want to sit there and scream and yell anymore, I'm gonna tell you to go home.
Mhm.
We're over it. You have to understand we are working forward to all of this. So if it is the same thing over and over and over, I'm just gonna ask you just to leave.
Mhm.
It's not worth the fight. It's not worth the headache. We are putting forth the time. We are making changes. Everybody sees that we're making changes constantly.
Sure.
Have we made mistakes? You've admitted it several times.
Yeah,
I've
everybody
admitted it.
does.
I've got
We're not
broad
perfect.
shoulders.
Yeah,
That's it.
everybody
This
does.
is brand new.
And
to
nobody
us.
out there is either. And
That's
we
right.
get that. We
But-
understand that emotions run high at the track.
The biggest thing is we've all tried to own up to the mistakes we've
Right.
made. We've made them public. Now, hey, I messed that up. I've missed calls. It's easy to do. You have to watch an entire racetrack,
Mhm.
and a lot of times I'll refer to Tim, I'll refer to Davey, I'll refer to TJ. I get as many angles as I can before I make a call, but
So
once it's made,
over
it's made.
this last weekend, I mean, y'all see me and kind of, what is he doing out there? You know,
Mhm.
was on the wall, paying attention. I had both radios on, so I could hear what you were saying on both sides of the fit. You know, seeing what's going on with the track crew, also watching, listening to the race radio. By doing that, because we do have complaints.
Mhm.
You're missing this or you're missing that. Logan really doesn't. What he does, if he does miss something, Tim, Davey, TJ are all they're it's in communication, and they make that decision within about 30 seconds
Yeah.
before we get going on to the next thing.
Mhm.
So as much as you think that they're not doing anything or just don't care, you're wrong.
Well,
Right.
and it's also something that we don't rush to a decision. We do try to take a little bit of time, especially if it's going to be a majorly impacting decision, and we will get those several viewpoints.
Mhm.
Well, Davey was up on the flag stand and was saying, "Hey, I threw the caution because this started it, but this is what finished it. So the caution actually came out for so and so."
Right. Yeah. I think that was, we had simultaneous spins, one off
Yep.
of 2, one off of 4.
Yep.
And it's, who do you put to the rear? Okay,
Right.
well, this is what I saw. This is what caused the caution.
And that's what Davey said. I threw it
Exactly.
because of this. This is what started it. And so there's a lot of communication that goes on, and I know that you guys catch a lot of flack. Andrew and I catch a lot of flack. I'm again over it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well,
Over it.
and I will say, as a racer, I did come from a racing family. I've had calls that went against me that shouldn't have.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's one of those things where, because I've had that, I try to take that little bit of few extra seconds, get a couple more opinions on something before we make a call, because you never want to feel like the racetrack's against you.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if, the racetrack could literally be handing out $5 bills. If a call doesn't go in your way, you're going to think, well, they just don't like me.
Right.
And so it's so easy to get in that mindset whenever that's not the case at all.
And we have a couple cars
Mhm.
that the cards have not fell
Right.
in the right order, and it really has a bad look,
Mhm.
right? But when you go back and you look at the films and you do this, the rules state this. This is what's going on. It's hard not to be able to make that call, right? But at the same time, the rules are rules. I mean, bumpers are on these cars because they're meant to be used. Now, when it gets to a point
Where you're just
The-
flat out
the-
wrecking somebody.
the driver
That
conduct.
is
This is
over the
what
line.
this is what I brought up. The driver conduct.
Mhm.
I've seen some footage on some different things and some odds and ends. Caution, when we're lining up after the choose, there is a lot of bumper touching in turns. We have 2 laps, right? You choose 2 to go. We have 1 left. Man, we're smacking bumpers down the beginning of the backstretch.
We had some door banging this
We
past
had
weekend.
door banging. We had quarters going up to front bumpers because they're shaking their car down.
Mm-hmm.
Not real sure what that's about. If you still want to drag your tires up, speed up a little bit, drag your tires up, but let's not do it right next door.
Right next door to somebody.
Yeah.
You're right.
So is there any intent there? No, I don't believe so, but there could be, and so this is the conduct thing. Again, this is why you have a 40-lap race in the legend cars
Mm-hmm.
with 1 caution from a 1 spin out, a single car incident, right?
Yep.
We ran 30 laps the other night, some of the hardest racing this track's seen in a long time.
With the highest car count.
With the highest count.
Caution free.
Mhm.
Caution free.
Yep.
4 or 5 lead changes.
Amazing race.
It was a
Yeah.
It was a great race.
This has happened for 4 races straight,
Mhm.
right?
We kept Davey busy that night between move over flag,
Mhm.
signals, all that. Davey, he worked a full night's work just in that Legends race.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and but that's what I'm talking about. If you want the respect, earn the respect.
Mhm.
Right.
Gain it.
Mhm.
If you're going to go out there and drive like a fool,
Mhm.
expect everybody around you to drive like a fool as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to make that. I'm not going to take that away from anybody. If it becomes a habit for somebody to be this way, when one person does it out of habit, they may not get penalized for it
Mhm.
because it does get frustrating.
Mhm.
It does get frustrating. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and park somebody in the wall because you do that, you're parked as well.
Right.
But I can understand some of the frustration from some of the kids and some of the drivers. People don't like the invert.
Right.
I'm sorry, get used to the invert. And if it gets complained about anymore, maybe I just start inverting the entire field.
Yeah.
I mean, we can play that game.
Which the goal is to make better drivers
That's
out of it.
it. That is the whole thing. Look at the racing.
Yep.
What's happened? I mean,
yeah. You've got to be able to
You
pass.
said it Saturday night. How many passes have we seen? Or we see kids that are normally running up front and can't make the pass.
Right.
We're seeing the change. You and I talked about it earlier today when they were out there practicing.
Mhm.
The change in all the drivers and the dynamic of the track and the fields.
Yeah.
Where we've seen some dominant people. They're not dominant.
Yeah.
No, and I feel like that just adds on what we talk about constantly about this racetrack. This racetrack is the first stepping stone to start racing.
Mhm.
Yes.
We want to send out the most well-rounded drivers that we can, and this is just something else to get them prepared for whenever they do go to Mobile or Pensacola or anywhere around here.
Right.
That's going to have an invert.
And I remember one of our first meetings when I said I wanted to bring back some of this stuff. And
Mhm.
you guys were, oh, heck yeah.
Let's
man.
do it.
This is what
Yep.
we've been talking
Well,
about this, and we need this.
We grew up racing, and,
Right.
and that's what we grew up racing with. And it's just with this track, it was very mundane with how they did things and the way we were.
For the fan experience
Right,
as well.
right.
In the stands. Like these changes are changing the fans' experience.
Mhm.
I
I get
agree.
it. It's changing the driver experience as well, but there's good to both sides of it.
Right.
And if we don't have fans in the stands, we're going to have to increase driver fees,
I
right?
mean-
like
So what we had in the pits it's normally been 2/3 to 1/3 for the stands. As of last weekend, we are really getting close to 50-50.
Yeah.
And every week, the
Yeah.
stands get more and more and more. And we're keeping tabs on
And
how
we-
many people are here.
We can attest to that. You can see that visually from the tower.
You
Like
can.
when you're looking out the window, you're like, man, there's a lot of people here.
And it's a beautiful sight. I
very
mean,
beautiful.
yeah, it's just like 15 legends lined up going down the backstretch the other night, coming to one to go. That gives me chill bumps thinking about it right now.
We had 15 legends, and 3 of them were out of town that
Mhm.
normally race with us. Bryce, Tim, and Matt. They weren't
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, they weren't even here. We had
Right.
15.
Luckily,
And we had
we
15.
had our 3 Texas guys come and fill in,
Right.
and kind of fill the field out.
I raced with them guys in October of last year, November, whatever it was. There, Texas, the last race. Good bunch of guys, and I really think, according to what they're saying, May 30th, you might see, if we have a full house and we get anybody else out of town, there's going to be close to 30 legends here.
Man. Could you imagine? I've never seen.
So
The only
Knowing-
time I've seen one photo of it, and it's from whenever there was like an INEX qualifier here years ago.
yeah.
There was about 20 or 30 of them lined up down the front stretch.
Right.
But that's
So
the
I've been
only time
asked
I've seen it.
how many cars will I start?
Yes. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. I need to measure, but I would really, if normal car count on a lot of things cut off is 24 cars.
Mhm.
If we have 30 cars, y'all are gonna race.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not sending anybody home.
Right.
There's enough room on this racetrack. It's 8 foot wider than where I come from. My home, it's the same size, but it's 8 foot wider.
Right.
The racing line is here, and I think if we can get some more, shout out to all the big cars.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some rubber on the track,
Yep.
thanks to the lopers,
Yep.
and it did make a difference on Saturday night.
Yeah.
That mid line, 20 or 30, 40 laps or whatever they did, put rubber on the track, and it helped the groove.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it seemed like the grip level was up a lot because we didn't
Yeah.
see near as many slides or anything.
Yeah,
off the
people weren't
corners.
as loose. I mean, there were still a couple, but not as bad as it's been all season.
So what I found out, we all know that the surface is abrasive here, right?
Mhm.
But we have nothing to fill in the abrasiveness. And the Legends are light, run on a street compound with a racing tread. Um, Carts, they don't weigh anything. We don't have anything heavy enough to actually put down
Like,
rubber.
yeah.
So the Lopers were kind enough to come out the other day. I just wanted to see what the big car looked like on the track. There's going to be plenty of room. According to the times, I mean, they weren't set up. They didn't change their setup. They just, didn't change their gear. Uh, According to that, we're going to be able to run. And his lap times on the high side were 1/10 different than lap times on the inside.
That'll set up for some great racing.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do that with a car that is not set up with a guy that has not ran here in many years and a car that was definitely not set up for the racetrack.
Right.
And then we're laying down rubber. We're seeing rubber. I mean, there's actually a dark line in the midsection.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get some trucks, some modifieds, they all run on the general same compound. Am I correct?
Yeah,
When-
it's pretty close,
yeah.
and it's an 8-inch slick. So
and they've got some weight, they've got some power. It's putting the stuff down in the racetrack. This weekend, we're going to run Saturday and Sunday with the drift.
Right.
When they're up on the banks this weekend, they are going to pack in some rubber, and that's going to help. Maybe.
Right.
Well, it depends on how much rain we have.
Yeah.
I mean, if the rain washes down, it's going to, it will take some of that out. But if we get some dry time and we can get it packed in there with, 120, 140 mile an hour wheel speed, it will dig into that asphalt and lay the rubber into the asphalt.
Mm.
And that's what we're finding out we're needing. This track just needs something heavy. It's
Mhm.
either going to have really high wheel speed, or it's got to be a heavy enough car that with a racing compound to get the tire to scrub off and fill the voids. So I walked out on the track when they were done. I was in a hurry. But inside there, where he was running that outside groove where nobody else was going, the rubber actually was filling in the voids. There was actual rubber there. And so I know he brought an old set of tires, but when I felt the old set of tires, they were sticky. They were not hard. So you're actually going to be able to race on an old set of tires versus a new set of tires here, and probably do just as well as you would with the new set of tires. The new set of tires is probably going to make you extremely tight.
mm-hmm.
And
this is in a big car. This is kind of a slidey racetrack.
I would want it to be loose.
You have to all but, or you're going to plow all four, and you're not going to have any straightaway speed because of how tight turn 4 is.
I had some concerns on that, and was speaking with both the Lopers. The exit of turn 4 with a new patch.
Mm-hmm.
They liked it.
Yeah.
It was like, it got up and laid down on the right rear of the car and drove straight down the straightaway.
Do I remember the way that it was before? Did they ever race on it when it had the dip there?
Yeah, Eli raced a Bando out here for years, and Robert raced Pro Challenge.
Pro Challenge,
and Robert raced big cars out here with me. We kind of touched on that the last episode whenever we had them on. We raced 112-inch wheelbase cars out here, not just, the metric cars a little bit smaller. We raced big cars out here, and we're still able to make them work.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you bring the big cars out, I mean, it's Legend's a big car out here, and the Legacies are a big car out here, and everybody thinks the track's too small. It's not. Where I come from, it's one of the biggest races in the country.
I mean, I look at the fact that they run one of the biggest dirt track races in the country is inside of a stadium.
Yeah.
With full-size dirt late models.
That's what, on a 1/5 mile? It's tiny.
It's smaller than this track, and it's flat. It has no banking, and they're running dirt late models out there.
Dirt late models, yeah.
Super late models. And a dirt late model is wider than any asphalt car.
Yeah. Right. Just from the way they're contorted the body looks.
Well, that, and they're sideways through the corners.
Yep.
That's how they make the corner.
Yep.
And they're still able to race. There's no reason to not have
no
cars
excuse.
out here.
I mean, everybody can kind of really just start cutting down on it.
We've been asking for years how to get the big cars back out here.
We were the ones that pushed for the Legacy to come back last year for that one race and got a few of them out
that
here.
coming up. What day? Do you remember?
May 2nd.
May 2nd.
So that's coming up the next race. So the Legacy cars, actually, we really need to talk about that.
We do. We need to get a flyer out, make sure that Texas doesn't forget.
Right. Yeah. I'll actually reach out.
And we can do a pit walk Saturday night to kind of remind everybody too, because the Legacy runs this weekend, I think. Right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
So they ran over Mobile.
I know the spring cars are back. The crown stocks are back. I don't remember.
I did have a gentleman ask how many cars that I would start, and I said at least 24. legacy cars. I mean, if we have them here, I will start 24 cars. Oh, that's just too
That
many
class
cars.
is growing. I saw some Facebook from Freedom Factory down there at Cletus's, which
Mhm.
everybody knows Cletus is a big name, but I think they had like 16, 18 legacies down there. I mean, Justin Reeves ran down there and raced.
Did he?
He did, and Brian
Nice.
Benedict.
Nice.
So we had a couple guys from our area go down there. So I mean, it's only fair some of their guys come up here, right?
Well, and that's the other good thing about the legacies is, they have a big following in Texas.
Mhm.
They have a decent following down in Pensacola, and this area is really growing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
With
you
that.
see
definitely
it all
growing.
the time. I mean, Eddie said, how many cars did he end up buying over the last?
Like 10.
Yeah,
it was a
bunch.
crazy number.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to
Eddie's
say,
growing it by himself.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he has built that class for sure. I want to say we had anywhere from 10 to 15 at the last race at Mobile.
Yeah, that's right.
There was
Yeah.
quite a few.
Yeah.
And that's, the opening night, they had almost 20.
Yeah.
And then they had still 10 or 15 this last race. And it's good racing.
Eddie's basically a legacy drug dealer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Legacy drug.
Well, and, we talked about it in the last episode. They were drafting at Mobile. They're
Yeah.
going to have to drive them.
This is a
Oh,
ride.
They
yeah.
had to draft.
Yeah.
I did notice that, and you could actually hear the cars. I was setting just before you went into the first turn, and they're on the rev limiter,
Mhm.
but as they were sneaking up on each other, the rev limiter tone
You could hear it.
changed. You could hear it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you could hear it change, and
Yeah.
I'm like, man, those cars are drafting.
No,
Yeah. Oh, and you could tell from where we were. I'm sure Tim had a good view of it too, because I was watching them
Right
front
over
four
'em,
like
baby.
a hawk, because I just knew there was going to be a mistake made within those front four, and they were just going to wad up. But they
Beautiful.
they
racing.
held it.
There, for 5 laps, there wasn't a total. Take all 4 cars, put a total. There wasn't 5 feet
Oh yeah.
No.
in between all 4 cars.
No.
I
And
mean,
that's-
they were running that.
You hear the term all the time. Top 4, top 3 are under a blanket. Oh, I
Right.
was saying it constantly up in the tower. I was like, those
Yeah.
guys are just under a blanket right out there.
Yeah,
So,
and that's in Mobile, which is a momentum track for them.
Mhm.
But here at SSR, it would be a technical track. Like you're going to have to get off the corner. You're going to have to, like just you say,
Yeah.
lay the power down out of the corners, get an angle into 3 to come off 4 proper. Like it's
I
going
feel
to be
like
a
it'll
bit
be-
more technical.
I
Yeah.
feel like it'll be a lot more racy for them. Though.
Mhm.
I feel like
they'll be door to door, and,
Yeah.
and you're going to see
use
a
the
lot
bumper a
more.
little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we saw it in Mobile.
Mhm.
It got used, but it never got abused.
No,
No.
Big
it was
difference between used and abused, and that's what everybody's got to learn.
well,
Mhm.
and that's the thing. That was my dad's big thing. Was he always said that if you can get against them down the straightaway and you tote them down in the corner faster than they're used to going, they'll generally slide up out of your way. And all you did was push them a little bit. You didn't hook
don't
them.
have
You
you
to
didn't
didn't wreck
burn
them.
them.
Yep,
you
you
know?
didn't wreck them.
You can just get against them and tote them. His favorite thing to say was tote them down in that fat corner faster than they've ever been in their life, and just turn them loose, and they'll go up the track out of the way.
Yeah, it can be done, but finesse bumpers need to be. I don't understand. Like I said, I've raced here for 2 seasons, and this is probably one of the cleanest racing racetracks
Mhm.
that I had been at, and there's ways to do this, but this season the aggression is really high.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm seeing it out of kids that I didn't think I was ever going to see it out of. Andrew and I want you to be aggressive, but
To an extent.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
there's
But here's the thing: if you're going to dish it out,
Be ready to take it.
expect to get it back,
Right.
no matter who you are.
and that's the way it should be. I
Mhm.
mean, that's the conduct thing. That's what we're talking about. If and here's a perfect example. Legend cars.
Mhm.
Legend cars. We got 50-year-olds.
Mhm.
You've got 12-year-olds.
Mhm.
I don't want to dog anybody for doing anything, but I really think Inex, however you want to say that,
Mhm.
screwed up by saying the 12-year-olds could come in, because it allows these children to run against somebody else, which is fine.
Mhm.
But when you stack them all together, what it causes is a child that might be faster than the older gentleman, but the older gentleman's got more experience.
Right.
What the child does is go in there and beat and bang,
Right.
knowing the old man's got the experience. But when the old man dishes it back, you get parents in the old man's
You
pit.
wreck the child. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The old man can send the kid for a ride without wall shotting.
Right.
Can the kid send the old man for a ride with that kind of experience?
Right.
The odds are no.
Right.
I mean, we have some, but I'm just saying that's where because the aggression's coming up, the speeds are coming up. If you look at the 15 cars that we had the other night, how many cars do we have go a lap down.
I don't have that.
I want to say
I
like
don't
4
have that.
maybe.
It wasn't, but
4 to
yeah, a few
5
of them.
maybe.
There wasn't
30
very many.
No caution laps.
Mhm.
And we've got 3 or 4 cars that are 1 lap down.
Yeah.
And it was at the last 10
I think
laps.
it was 5 total.
Yeah.
I think it was 5 total.
5 total.
Well, and you gotta, in those 5, you have several people that we had, the 3 from Texas that had never been here before.
Right. One
And
brand new who
one
had
brand
never
new.
raced Legend at any track.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the 6 of Austin
Oh,
Lambert.
yeah. I saw that car. I never got to speak to him. So
That
he
was
had
his-
never driven
So-
That's
Well,
from what I understand.
Luckily, we had a little bit of time before the race night got kicked off. So me and Tim went down and we introduced ourselves to the Texas guys and we introduced ourselves to him. And I kind of went over basic procedures of things that would get you penalized during practice that we
Right.
go over in the driver's meeting. But I want you to know it before you roll out for practice.
Right.
Right.
Just that way, you're brand new. Make sure you have your gloves on, your neck restraint. Don't roll out there without being flagged out there. Whenever you do go out, make sure you heed the lights, heed the flags, all that stuff. And so we just kind of gave them a basic rundown, and everybody we talked to was super nice, though.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, you're talking about going out on the track. That's something else that I did not mention earlier about the conduct of people. I don't care who you are. And even if the yellow gates are open, you do not approach
Mhm.
the track.
Unless TJ or a
Yeah,
stop and go official
that
says
is
so,
that
yeah.
is it. You do not. I'm sorry that it's your child. My child's been in crashes before, and I could not go over the wall to get to him.
Mhm.
Sucks, but that's just what you have to do.
I did better this week.
I wasn't going to call him out.
did
I
do
wasn't
better
going to
this
call
week.
him
Yeah,
out.
I saw you over grinning.
I was
trying to
looking.
look away.
I was staring a hole in him, kind of.
I set a really bad example a couple weeks ago. I apologize. And this week, she hit the wall pretty hard. And all
Yeah.
I heard was she hit it really hard. And you guys probably didn't see me, but I was on the other side of the guardrail. And I was trying not to go.
I was
And I just
watching
kept hearing you
Andrew.
saying
Yeah.
she hit it really hard. Yeah.
We need to get to
and
it.
he,
And so,
and he stutter stepped because
Yeah.
he knew. I mean, as as a track, he has the right to go out on the track.
Mhm.
It is what it is. But
well, and we always say,
But he let everybody else
nobody except for track personnel can't get more track personnel than owning it. You know what I'm saying?
It is a technicality. I know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So,
but it's the same thing. We're talking about that.
But here's the thing. Let me just back up and say this. And I've replayed this from 2 weeks ago when I was running all over the track and, if somebody looked like they might have been hurt. I thought about it later and I was like, if I get there and I say, "You okay?" and they say, "No." Like, I don't know what I'm going to do then. I was like, "Medic."
let me,
You know what I mean?
let me call somebody.
Same thing if you're a parent.
Yeah, that's what I was fixing to say about the parents.
What
that
are you
want-
going to do?
Yeah, what that want to run on the track.
I
We've
get
got
it. You want to be there. You want to let them know that you're there, and it'll make them feel more comfortable. But if they need medical attention, you can't give it to them.
Yeah.
Then you become a hindrance.
Exactly.
Yeah, you
Right.
become a hindrance in that situation. So
Yeah.
it's the same as the fence and stuff. I will get some signs if I have to, but there's no standing on the fence.
right.
No climbing the
That-
gates. There's
Infuriated me. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
yeah,
Don't worry about that.
but there's no more of that. I mean, again, conduct at the racetrack. If you read the rules, there are sections in there that speak of the conduct of the racetrack.
Mhm.
It needs to be enforced, and we're going to start enforcing it.
Mhm.
Well, we have the staff now to be able to
There,
enforce these
and
things.
I think that's the biggest thing. We've had to put so many people in place because we've seen the need.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing was understaffed. Obviously, I
Mhm.
mean, we didn't know it
Right.
until things are happening. So you're going to see more green shirts.
Mhm.
You're going to see a lot of different things happening. You may see somebody that's cussing a young kid. Again, whether they're calling them names or whatever the case is, escorted right out of here.
Yeah.
And it's going to get upsetting. And I don't want that to be the case. Please do not argue and fight.
Mhm.
If you want to have a discussion after you leave, we can have that discussion. But if somebody's asking you to leave, just leave.
Yeah. I mean, we always talk about how the racetrack, and our racetrack is a big example of it, a family. Like, I feel like this is one of the most family-oriented racetracks I've ever been to. But if you just have something in your head to be aggressive towards a certain person, to me, it sounds like you're just showing up to the racetrack to have a bad night anyway.
Yeah, you're just looking for
You're
trouble.
looking for
Right.
something to ruin your night.
Right.
And I mean, even though your kid's out there racing or you're out there racing, whatever it may be, you're supposed to be here to race. That's what you're here to do.
Yeah, I mean, we love the competitiveness of the sport, but it's a sport to have fun with,
Right.
and,
Yeah,
to spend time with your family.
Right.
Yeah, it's the competitiveness is great.
Right.
Keep the competitive spirit.
Right.
Right. Chase Hart, Carter Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
perfect example.
Yep.
Those boys have swapped back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
When they run first and second with each other, whoever finishes second is definitely upset.
Right.
But the first thing they do is get out of that car and go congratulate.
They go take
the guy.
yep.
And you know,
And
the next weekend they are friends right at the trailer, helping one another out.
I would
Yep.
say
That's
that
the way
they're
the whole
probably
place should be.
the best example of using
Very
the
good
bumpers
example.
the right way.
Mhm.
Yep.
Because a bump, you know,
Yep.
hey, I'm a little bit faster than you. Boop, move you up a little bit, go on,
Make the pass.
and it's done.
Yep.
But both of them expect it back at any time.
Yeah,
Right.
I
exactly.
guarantee you, when that pass is made, as soon as they go into the next turn, first thing they're doing is look in the mirror.
Yep.
No, you can definitely see it on track because, like this past Saturday night when Carter got by Chase for a minute and he went down the back straightaway, it was the most defensive line I think I've ever seen Carter Taylor take down the back
Mhm.
straightaway.
Yep.
He was towards the bottom and he braked early. He was not ready for it. And he knew Chase was on his bumper to give him a bump,
Right.
and it was there. He
Yeah.
knew it was coming. He took it. He
But-
got out of the way, and there went Chase.
But
But whenever the bump happens or something like that, when they're there, they're not all the way there, but they're looking. There's room given
right.
because
Yeah.
you don't want to wad those cars up whenever you could outpower.
They
him coming
know
off
that
the
there's
corner or
racing to
something.
be going. I mean, and it's to watch those boys the last 2 years, and we bring them up quite a bit.
Mhm.
Right.
But to watch those boys, the maturity level in their racing, I don't know that they understand how many of those kids are at the fence watching them to race.
Right.
Exactly.
Because they're growing up to be, young men, and they're just gentlemen too. So when the kids
Very
come
much
up
so.
to them, they treat those kids with the utmost respect,
I would
and
say-
those kids love them.
I would say Carter probably knows just because he started out in go karts here and he's worked his way up.
Right.
So he was one of those kids a while back.
Right.
Now Chase came in, I think, just straight in a legend car.
I think so. Yeah.
And so just not saying he doesn't understand it because
Right.
I've seen pictures of him with the Golf brothers.
right.
Very big fans of Chase. They follow him around.
Right.
He's almost like an
Those-
older brother
Those
to
two
him.
boys, they
Yeah.
they help him with it. The other day I was over there, and both the boys
Mhm.
were rolling tires up while Bubba was getting everything put together, and
Mhm.
this one goes here and this one goes there,
And that's exactly what we want to
Right.
see. We
That's
want
one
to
of my
see.
favorite pictures is Chase. From behind there, he's walking away, and one of the golf kids is right next to him.
Yeah.
And it is such a cool picture.
It's just
It
the
is-
mentorship
Yeah,
of that
right.
older generation to the younger generation.
Right.
And like I said, no offense to Chase, but he did come in straight in a legend car, whereas Carter, he was that kid standing at the fence watching the
Watching
Legends
them, yeah.
race and watching, the way they conducted themselves and all that. And so
Mm-hmm.
he eventually got to race against those same people he watched, which it even happened this weekend with Trace Capers.
Mm-hmm.
Trace Capers has been racing a legend out here since I've been coming out, and he got to race against Trace, and he's getting to a little bit more and more. And
Right.
it's a great thing because now the people they looked up to are now their competition.
Right. And that's where that seniority you were talking about a little bit ago, the age difference, you get it, you show it on the track instead of just going out there and taking someone out for no reason. The experience level and the respect comes into play.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, in that particular instance, the things that are going on, the rules put those bumpers on small tabs for a reason.
Mhm.
You're allowed to use them,
Mm-hmm.
but you better learn how to use them correctly, because they're going to fall off, and then it gets that. But just expect that back. Now, we've already said it. We're not giving you the right to go out there and just beat the hell out of somebody.
Right.
But
I was even on the receiver the other night talking about bumpers under caution, like you mentioned earlier. It was just a little bit ridiculous, and some of this, and it's not always the car that's running second. Sometimes it's the car running third row that's pushing
That's
the car
pushing
in the
somebody
second
else.
row into the leader.
and that is building the aggression up
Mhm.
front, because that person thinks that person's doing it intentionally. And
Right.
we've already got a lot of heated attitudes in some of these divisions, and you're not helping the cause.
Right.
I understand the invert, perfect example, Bandoleros. They rolled a 6, the entire field
Right.
was inverted. We had some very young boys up front.
Mhm.
They did a wonderful job.
They really
did
did.
exactly what they were supposed to do. And then the Bandoleros, all of them that were fast behind them, drove down through the turn, made it under them, and then that became their race.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a learning experience.
Yeah.
These kids have to learn sometime, and that was a perfect learning.
For both of them.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, for
That's
both
right.
groups,
For
yep.
both the experienced and the unexperienced. They got some experience really, really quick, and then the guys that have the experience aren't used to that. And they had to make their way through that.
Right.
There was a ton of spins, a ton of cautions in that
Mhm.
race.
Yeah, we always count unassisted spins because we have our 3 unassisted rule
Right.
that we enforce to a T.
Yep.
We had 4 different cars that had unassisted spins in that race.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of them met the 3 spin rule to be black flagged.
Right.
Right.
And so it was one of those things where it did make for a little bit more lengthy of a race,
Mm-hmm.
but that just shows you how on edge a lot of these cars are as well,
And
just to try and make that speed.
let's explain the unassisted.
Right. Unassisted is, if you don't make contact with anybody, your car is just a little bit loose, or you hit a bump just wrong, or you put a little too much wheel in it, nobody makes contact with you, you spin by yourself. Now, if you spin to avoid a caution, something like that, that doesn't count. We don't even penalize you to avoid
But the caution
cautions.
has to come out.
But the
Mhm.
caution has to come out.
It may look like a wreck, and even if you spin trying to avoid it because you were expecting it,
Right.
that becomes an unassisted spin.
Right.
But
And
I
it's
think it's a
really
great
hard
thing.
in the bandos too, because they have only rear brakes.
Right.
For people that have never driven anything like that before, when the rear locks up, it's uncontrollable.
Yep.
yeah,
It's
you're-
like, it's like a hydro handbrake back there.
Exactly.
yeah,
And
it
so
slides.
what happens is you essentially panic brake. If something in front of you happens, you grab a foot full of brake.
Yeah.
And that's the right thing to do in most scenarios. But whenever it locks the rear end up, then it's backwards. It's just like the go-karts.
Yep.
That's how you see the go-karts get turned around so quick. It's all rear brake.
It's something I've been trying to get Elena to realize, and that's exactly what I told her. I was like, look, you've only got that one disc back there,
Mhm.
and it's just like pulling a hydro handbrake, and you will flip around just like a drift car.
Yeah.
Like, you got to work that brake. And I know you get nervous, you get scared, and
Panic brake.
know,
Yep.
It's a panic
automatic.
brake thing for sure. And, it's one of those things too where even if you're a little bit older, if you've ever tried to left foot brake in your street car, it'll throw you through the dash every now and then. And so
I literally cannot do it.
Yeah,
Like, I
it's-
physically cannot do it.
it
I
takes
got-
some getting used to.
I got lucky that I drove race cars before. Well, I crashed race cars before I ever, started crashing street
Frisbee
cars.
race cars.
I did.
I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
Floating.
I knew y'all were going to call me out, so I was just like, I'll just impale myself on this one. So, but I did. I was very privileged to be able to have those experiences and everything, and that's just the way I was raised. So much to the point of my dad telling me, hey, when you go take your driving test, you better drive with one foot. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, don't left foot brake. You'll fail your driving test for that. And I was like,
Throw the instructor
Okay,
through the
all right.
windshield. Wham!
yeah.
Well, I mean, it was still amazing racing Saturday night, even
Mhm.
with all the trials and tribulation, everything going on, right? I mean, y'all are, like you said, putting up with a lot and got a lot going on, and not only dealing with the people and what's going on, but trying to put on an amazing show. And I would say you've done an amazing job with that all year.
Yeah.
I have not personally thought there's been one bad race night. I feel like every race night has been action packed and something amazing coming out of
Well,
it.
and even the small things y'all are doing that a lot of people would probably overlook, the checker flag victory laps. That's one I touch on a lot because it's an incredible thing to see those drivers get to celebrate that. And then the fireworks at the end of every night.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Just little
well,
details.
and the people in the stands, some people think it's a waste of time. If you would see that individual who's carrying that flag when they get it, especially when it's their first one.
Right.
Like, let's say it was a heat race, right? And it's their very first checker flag.
Right.
My goodness,
Mhm.
the kids are just glowing and don't know what to do. Their hands are shaking because
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, I'm so excited!" I mean, I'm
Mhm.
getting chills thinking.
Yeah,
about
man.
it.
It's
Yeah.
I
it is
remember my first checker flag.
it's old school, and
Yes.
it's that old school mentality, and that's the way I want the people here to race, is with that old school mentality of you have respect. You might go out there and door bang, you might beat bumpers a little bit, but whenever you get back to the pit area, hey man, that was good hard racing.
Yeah.
And that's the way I grew up racing, and that's what I want to come back, because
Right.
in too many situations nowadays, you have that, and I'm not saying this happens here, but in a lot of racing scenarios, you have that spoiled rich kid mentality of, well, dad will just buy me another car if I wad this one up. And that's something that we don't want to happen at this track.
Well-
So that's why we stay on top of it a lot more.
And I even forgot about this. The track determines whether or not we can use radios.
Mm.
It's not any of the sanctioning bodies don't. It's up to the track.
It's a
whether
track
you use-
discretion rule.
Yeah, it's a track discretion rule. I don't know if taking the radios away from some divisions might help, because it might keep the animosity down. Is it coming from the spotter? Is it coming from this? I don't know. I mean, where I race from, down here in the south, everybody uses radios.
Mhm.
Up north, most of the tracks do not allow you to run radios.
That's
By-
an interesting point.
Well,
Yeah.
and I
By
will.
not running the radio, that person behind the wheel has to learn how to hear, how to feel vibrations,
Watch
how
the
to
mirrors.
use the mirrors, all,
Mhm.
and drive at the same time. They're not relying on anybody else. We all know that when they get into bigger cars, the radios become an asset.
Right.
At this level, we're allowing it to happen because it is an asset if you're moving forward.
There,
But it becomes an issue, I'll just remove them.
Well,
Right.
there have been several times where we've seen some battles on track, and I've watched, and I'm like, they're not really there, but both those cars have radios, so their spotters need to be telling them, hey, they're looking inside or they're inside. So a
Absolutely.
lot of that goes up to the discretion of the spotter as well,
Mhm.
because me and any driver that I have spotted for, we had an agreement. We would go over the car. Where do you want me to tell you looking? Where do you want me to tell you inside? And we had clear points on the vehicle. That way, if something happened, it's on both of us.
Mhm.
But is some of the aggression coming from the spotter?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can tell you it is.
Mhm.
Just because, it's just from being on the radio and being a spotter before, there was a time where we accidentally got into somebody at Mobile, turned them around on a restart. It was 100% our fault. Me and their spotter just happened to be on the same trailer spotting. I went over, apologized. He was aggressive towards me. So I flat out told him, I was like, that one was accidental, but the next one won't be. And now my driver didn't go out there and wreck him, but I told him to. But but my driver was also 40 years old,
Right.
and
Yeah,
it was his race car.
Right.
And so it's not a child who is more susceptible to the person on the radio
I did
giving
race
them a bad
at a
influence.
track one time that it was your spotter because they allowed radios.
Mhm.
So anybody that used the radio, if you qualified first, the second place now is your spotter. You could not use your family member or your crewman. You had to use somebody else. And that's what kept it fair to a lot of other people.
That is pretty
We could
interesting.
go to that route if we see it. And I'm going to have a lot of cameras on a lot of people. I'm going to have a lot of videos on a lot of things. And this will get nipped in the bud. We're saying it without saying who, what, when, or where.
Mhm.
But these things will be taken care of.
Mhm.
And we are watching, and we will get it figured out.
Mhm.
Well, and I feel like that's something too that needs mentioning is, you and I both have come from being racers in the positions we're in now, so we understand a little bit more.
Oh, and not only racing, low dollar racing.
Exactly.
Low
You
budget racing is where it all started.
building things from materials you have laying around instead of buying parts, stuff like that. That's stuff that we, especially on our race team, 99% of the time it was me and my dad were the only two working on that race car. And so that's where a lot of my aggression came from toward our competitors was, if you tear up that race car that it took us a week to get back right, now I'm hot because you have a crew of 20 people over there that are going to work day and night to fix yours. It's me.
But you're talking about retaliation.
Well,
When
no,
I'm-
no, we never really retaliated. It was
Well,
just one of those go down there and
but I'm
confront a
just saying,
driver
if somebody
deal.
does
Yeah,
it. But what I'm saying is, some of the aggression is being initiated.
Right.
Yes, very much so.
Right.
It can be.
Yeah. And
You
it goes
know.
back to people coming to the track looking for aggression or something to
Well, and
just
it's,
even
it-
do,
it-
you
it's
know?
no different than, and I will write this specific instance up in the rule book. If you text, call any of the track officials, owners, or anything like that during a race about what's going on, I'm going to take your points away from you. There's absolutely no reason. It may not be the call that you want. It may not be a good call, but that's the call that happened. And if you think you're going to discuss it in the middle of the race, that all we care about is you at that particular time, you're wrong.
Right.
There's a race to go on. There's a show to finish up. We can talk about this later. But if you want to be that rude and that selfish about it, I'm going to be that rude and that selfish about it and take your points away from me.
Well, I'd like to elaborate on that as well. Don't come down to in front of the tower and start yelling at us or telling us what we need to do as far as that goes. We're on top of it.
Mhm.
We know what we're doing. You know, if it's something to where somebody has spun the 3 times and you know it's met that rule, we also know that.
Right.
We have everybody on the crew looking out for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We don't need your input.
I'll attest that Logan literally has a sheet of paper or timing and scoring, whoever's doing it will have names, and they will put tally marks. If they unassisted spin, 1 tally mark. Oh, that's the second one. Then Logan gives the rule, hey, you have 2 over the radio, the receiver to the driver. Just be aware.
And a lot of times you'll see them, they'll change their driving style a little bit to not meet that.
Or just slow down a little bit just to get their laps in.
Either way, you know, you can definitely tell a difference in how they're running to where they can make sure they finish that race. But we don't need people coming down there.
You don't need assistance?
We don't.
No?
You know, I have enough. I do.
A lot of volunteers for it.
Yeah.
Assistant
Now,
to the race director.
I will say.
But the volunteers have been asked to volunteer, decide they don't want to volunteer.
Yeah. I will say, and I'm going to give him a shout out, Colby Wolford.
Yeah.
Huge assistant to me the other night, trying to get. We had some newer people on the front row.
One that
of
couldn't
the,
hear at all.
And one that couldn't hear, and we don't want to park them. You know, we'll give them as many chances as we can. And so he pulled up there, and he was, you get here, you do that, and and I even said something. I was like, man, I appreciate that. He gave me a wave, and it was, you could tell he wanted to get that race going.
He was ready to go.
Yeah, and so, but just shout out to him. That was awesome. He didn't have to do that. He took it upon himself.
You were like, later on, you were like, if he ever needs a job at that,
exactly.
Yeah, I remember you saying that because, I mean, and he did it. The way you described it was the way he pulled up there in the car. It made it really easy and really clear for them to see, to get that thing in motion and going forward. But let's end this on a good note. Man, the people, the shows, we are getting positive feedback, even though all we had was complaints this evening. That's not it. The majority of it is happy customers.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how else to say it. You know, we're trying to get these races done on time. We were, 30-some minutes behind the other night?
About 30 minutes behind the other night. And I will say, we went very in-depth with some of our technical inspections through intermission. I'm not going to say what we did or who we did it to, but it kind of pushed us back a little bit.
Yeah.
But I would rather do those things, and that way everybody is on an even playing field. It takes away that little bit of complaining that could be done there.
Right.
To where it's less on y'all. It's less on everybody on the staff.
Well, even at the end of the night, you know, I really took a look over the stands at the end of the race. There was still a ton of people in here at the very end of that race.
Yeah. All the way
and I can't say I blame them, because with that big field of legend cars, you want to see that.
It was a big field. I know people were expecting to pile up. You know, the Daytona crash, and it never happened. These guys are racing respectful. They're racing hard. They're changing it up. They're mixing it up. They're having fun. You know, when I go back and I talk to them, they're all talking about how fun it is. But man, I wish there was a caution I could have used to choose. You know, but there's not been that many cautions. I mean, we've had 4 races, and I bet we haven't had 5 cautions in 4 races.
Yeah, I doubt it. Yeah, if that. Yeah.
And the amount of fun that the drivers had translates to the fans.
Yes, it does.
Well, and
they can see that.
That's something that, you know, we touch on a little bit, but we as officials were race fans before we're anything.
Right.
You know, we love to see a race like that.
Oh, yeah.
I know me and Tim were excited up in the grandstands. Davey was excited in the flag stand. TJ was happy about it. Like, everybody was happy with how that race played out.
Yeah, I will say, and I'll admit, I did 2 or 3 laps. I just turned the microphone off because they're so loud you can't hear me anyway.
Yeah.
And set it down and just watched, because it was just an amazing sight to see so many legends going around this place.
Well, and I noticed when I could hear, your announcing was a little more up. I mean, because I think your adrenaline was up. I mean, because the way and it all started within like the first 10 laps, because the passing. You You know, they were shaking it up. Things were happening. You could see who was really good and who was faltering. You know, will it come back? Will it not? And the first 10 laps of that race
We're
great.
incredible.
Real quick, going towards Tim's adrenaline while he's announcing, not this past weekend, but 2 weekends ago when we did the 40 lap feature
Right.
for them. You could ask both of them. I came up in the tower right after that race, and about 5 minutes afterwards, I was like, "Dude, I'm tired now." Like,
Yeah.
like whenever
Your
I first came
adrenaline
up
peaks.
here, I was, full of energy because
Well, in the car count for you, because you're trying to
Yeah.
watch the entire field.
Mhm.
So
And,
like,
and I watch you, and you're so it's a
it's
busy
just back and
motion
forth.
thing
Yeah.
constantly.
So
They're all the way around the track. Yeah,
It's- yeah.
and they're all the way around the track, so you're having to watch every aspect of the racetrack at
Right.
that point.
Right.
And so I'll even sometimes come across the radio to the crew before the race, and I'm like, "Hey, everybody be on toes this time. You know,
Mhm.
we got to watch the entire racetrack, and we've got to be on it." And so, but hey, I love having to do that.
Yeah.
That just means the car count's up. That just means it's doing good.
Yep.
Before we get out of here, I do want y'all to kind of preview this weekend, if you can. We have a big drift event coming up.
Yeah, so it's going to be our first open drift weekend where it's not just invitational only. We kind of opened it up. Unfortunately, the weather may not be cooperating with us, but in drifting, we drift rain or shine.
Right.
I was gonna say,
So
you
bring-
slide
We're
Bring
in
sliding
there.
already.
your
Might as well
raincoat.
slide a little more.
Bring your raincoat, because I got
Some
to see it at NOLA last year.
Some
And
people like drifting in the rain better than, on dry asphalt.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You don't get the smoke show as much, but you get to save on tire,
Mhm.
and things slow down a little. It's a good way to learn too for new guys,
Yeah.
because things slow down. You're not going as fast. You're not driving as aggressive. You got to take it a little bit easier.
It probably evens the playing field too a little bit for those people that are down a little bit on horsepower
For sure.
that can't break
Yeah,
the tires loose
for
as
sure.
easy.
Mhm.
But yeah, so it's the theme is survive the swamp, because it might be a little wet out there
Gotcha.
this weekend, but
Yeah.
we still will be going. And like I said, some people prefer driving in the rain, or drifting in the rain. So we should have a good field of cars both days, I think.
Yeah,
we're gonna do it Saturday and Sunday.
Yep. We
What,
initially were just going to do Sunday.
Yep.
But because Saturday was going to be a makeup rain out date, and
Luckily, we haven't needed it.
we've had great,
Yeah.
for the most part, great weather
Yeah.
for every race night. So oddly enough, the rain out date is now going to be rained on
Yeah.
Yeah.
and used
There
for
you go.
drifting.
There
What
you
are
go.
your what's the times for each day?
So we are going to first of all, if you're interested in driving, you can go to ssrmotorsportspark.com and you can sign up, register to drive. If you want to spectate, you can go there and get tickets as well, or you can get them at the gate. Tickets are going to be $15 for the stands, $25 for full access. With that, you can go into the stands and get you can bring your helmet and you can get a ride along.
That
Yes, so you will get a discount. If you want to drive both days, you'll get a discount for that. If you want to spectate both days, there's a discount for that. So it's all through the website. We're going to start, the gates will open for the drivers at, did we say 8 o'clock, I think?
8 o'clock
8 o'clock on Saturday.
In the morning?
for the
Dang.
drivers.
I'm
Okay.
still be asleep.
So,
Yeah.
no, the field's going to be deep. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
this pit
Well,
is gonna be
and
full.
we came out to the invitational that y'all had, and I told Tim, I was like, I don't think I've ever seen the
The
pits that
pits were
packed.
so
And so
packed. It's
I know
crazy.
y'all have added a ton of
We
parking.
only had 40 drivers that weekend, too.
Yeah.
They must have brought like 2 trailers apiece then,
Yeah.
because they
Well-
one for car, one for tires, maybe. But
Well, it just takes up a lot of room.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of these guys are driving bigger rigs
Mhm.
because some of them bring 2 cars with them.
Mhm.
Right.
You're going to see a lot of husband-wife
Yeah.
driving.
There's quite a few on the
Yeah.
Gulf Coast here, some locals. But anyway, for the spectators, 11 to 8 is when we're going to be drifting on Saturday, and then Sunday it will go from 12 to 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to pop by Sunday afternoon.
yeah, I'll definitely.
Saturday we'll be working at the other racetrack.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You won't.
Yeah.
It'll be raining.
for the legacy drug
Hey,
dealer.
don't you put that evil on me, Ricky?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was just rude. Well, then I'll just come down here with my helmet and just ride with y'all.
Well, come
But anyway, thanks, guys. Like we said, this race year has been amazing, and we've had some negatives, and I'm glad you touched on what y'all needed to touch on tonight. I mean, it's very important to get out
I
what
will
you
say
need to get out.
the positives have far outweighed the negatives. Though.
Agreed.
But the negatives seem to build a little bit, so we want to go ahead and nip them in the bud.
We walk away from here just about every weekend exhausted from the negative.
Right.
But in the big and we kind of get upset about it, but in the big scheme of things, yes, the positive it way overweighs that, but that is how much negative we get.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get very many thank yous. We don't get, but we sure do every time we would make a mistake or a piece of paint is chipped or there's some duct tape on the floor, we know about it.
Right.
It's crazy how that is way more important than the facility that was built for y'all.
Right.
This
And
could be a Walmart.
or a data center. I mean,
Or a Dollar General.
Well, and I will say, y'all have done a great job as far as keeping things clean this year as well.
Yep, we're
I
trying.
saw,
Yep.
I believe it's Brink.
Brink.
My
Yep.
bad.
He was mopping
mopping the grandstands
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
like
You
before we
can't
got
have
going.
enough of breaks.
Yeah.
We need
And-
about 3 more.
Oh, and then all the garbage cans are piled up out there right now. There's 18 of them, in case y'all didn't
Yep.
know.
No,
'cause
there's
my
more
daughter.
out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
are there more?
Yeah,
Well, the
pretty
ones
sure.
right here, there's 18 because
Yeah.
my daughter counted them on Saturday night. Because I was like, she's like, that's a lot of garbage cans. I was like, how many? Tell me. And so we were out there talking, and she counted 18. There's 18 of them, Daddy.
Hmm.
But I would like to say, look, we didn't come on here just to complain, just like what we normally get on every race
Right.
night.
Mm-hmm.
I do appreciate everybody coming out. I do appreciate the fans. Not everybody, is complaining to us, and there are people that do thank us from time to time or are appreciative, and they give us positive comments. And we do want to hear from people. We do want to hear the feedback.
Mm-hmm.
We do want to hear possible suggestions. We are not going to be able to honor everything, and we will work on it as we can.
Right.
We do take this seriously. We do take the issue seriously. We take this track seriously. This is not just a side project. This is
And a lot of times we'll get that issue that night and it becomes an issue. We are working on it right then and there. You may not see it, you may not hear it, but
Mhm.
we've already started working on that.
Yeah.
I mean, Andrew and I get on the radio.
Right.
Hey, this is what's going on. We need to check on this.
Yeah. And like I said, not even that. We had an hour and a half tower meeting after the race of Saturday night,
Yeah.
Yeah,
just about things that has
Well-
happened to just try to.
And it was all
Constructive.
fresh.
constructive conversation about
Right.
what can we do to
Right.
fix some of these things.
Not a bad
Right.
meeting.
And it was-
not
it
nothing
was the-
negative. It was just a what can we do better.
And it was a good time to have it because everything was fresh. It
Exactly.
wasn't you're trying to remember everything a few days later or anything like that. It's all fresh in your head. It just happened. Let's discuss it. Let's see what we can do to try and make it better for everybody.
And I appreciate you guys bearing with us for that, because that is a perfect example of why that needs to happen then. But I know it makes the night longer.
Yeah, it
But I
did make
appreciate
for a
you
long
guys being
evening, but
patient with us for that.
Yeah.
but I think we've all became pretty good friends.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a group between us all.
I was
We can't
cackling
talk about
today.
the group
Yes,
on.
I was
we
packing
can't
We have to
say
bleep
what some of this
everything,
stuff goes
We
on,
don't
but
talk about the group chat.
the memes and some of the things that are said are ridiculous. It is a laughing thing for us because a lot of times we have to be serious when we're here.
Mhm.
And things are moving so fast that we're in high speed motion and sometimes get away without even saying hello. It's just bam, 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 bam. We're just going.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Well-
it breaks up the monotony for us, and it's became a good group of people that we can have a general conversation and get feedback that goes from all different directions, so we can make the decisions that need to be made and move forward as quickly as we can.
For sure.
And it helps out for sure. And you talk about staying busy. We've been here 4 races this year. Saturday night was the first time I've even got to say hello to Wayne, to get down there, and he met me during intermission. That was the first time I've been able to talk to Wayne all year because
Yeah.
he stays in the parts room.
That was the first time I was able to see him before the end of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but again, thank y'all so much. I mean, honestly, thank y'all.
Thank you guys for doing this.
Um,
This helps out. It helps get it out there to the people, and I think it's an easier way for us just to sit down here and have an hour. Everybody can kind of listen to it. We can go over certain things at the track.
Mhm.
You guys discuss what normally you guys discuss, but it allows us not to have to make a lengthy Facebook discussion.
mm,
Yeah.
Or a face-to-face meeting.
Right.
You just do it all right here.
Right.
Get your one source of information.
Well, we'll generalize now, but
Mhm.
if things continue, it might get to that face-to-face meeting kind of deal.
And don't hesitate.
Mhm.
I mean, if it's that bad, let us know.
Yeah.
I mean,
But here's the thing: race night.
It's race night.
There is so much going on. Everybody, look, I get how stressful it is to be a race parent now. I am getting that. I did not realize that before this season. Be a race parent and then have track ownership on top of that. And people coming up to me as I'm trying to get my daughter on track and complaining about something that hasn't even happened and didn't happen that night.
Right.
That's just
It's
adding to the
frustrating.
stress. That's not helping anything.
Right.
We are happy to talk to people about issues and potential calls. We can't reverse them. I mean, unless it's really bad, right? Like what's called on race night,
Yeah, it's got to be blatant.
right?
And there's nothing. I promise you, there will be nothing blatant come out of the tower.
Yeah.
And it's like we've talked about several times. We try our best not to make those calls, and that's the reason I do get 3 or 4 different people's opinions on the matter of what they saw from their angle. That way we don't make just a blatantly wrong call.
Right.
But
And-
coming up to Abe or me about a call, we don't make the calls. That's not our job.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll listen to you and what you had to say, but
Yeah.
I cannot make the changes right then.
Right.
As of right now, we do not have a rewind button to go and even watch it. So unless
Right.
you have the film yourself, I can't. And I wasn't there, and I was doing something else. Normally, I'm taking care of another complaint,
Mhm.
but I didn't even get to watch the race.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, this weekend I spent a lot of time inside the infield
Mhm.
because I wanted to watch the races. We've had complaints. We've had all this. I'm going to go watch for myself and see what happens
But we'll have a more constructive conversation a
later.
date or two later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday would probably be the best day to do it. That
Yeah.
way we've had some time.
Well, and
Make some notes. Make some notes so that
For
it's
sure.
fresh to you. And then let's have a calm discussion about whatever the problem is on, say,
Yeah.
a Tuesday.
yeah, and I will say probably the worst thing you could do is reach out on a Sunday, because we've already given up our entire Saturday pretty much to be
Yeah.
here. Not just us, you guys as owners as well. Sunday I try to reserve for spending time with my daughter
Family
and
time.
family time and all that, because
And a lot of people don't know. Andrew and I are here normally on Sunday, finishing up the cleanup,
Mhm.
finding out what we need to order for the next week, and moving on. I mean, it truly is a 7-day week job.
Yeah. You did retire too early.
Nah.
Come on now.
Well, guys, thank
he's
you.
fully out of retirement.
Yeah, you're basically
I'm
just a
about ready to
workman.
go back in.
Well, guys, thank you again for joining us on another episode of
Thanks
From
for
the
having
Tower, and we'll see you guys next time. We at From the Tower want to take a second and thank all of our amazing sponsors, the 2 of them we have right now. The first one, OEC Workplace Solutions. They donated us a very beautiful table to do our work on, so thank you to them. Go see them for all the other office supply needs, office furniture needs. They have multiple lines of furniture and different things you need for the office setting. Make sure you reach out to them and check them out. Also, All Star Graphics, Matt Hillhouse, a racer here at SSR, does a great job with the cars on track vinyl work, stickers, shirts, t-shirts, signs, yard signs. Has everything you need to make sure all your signage needs are taken care of. Thank you to our sponsors.